Iowa State's in the preseason top 25 for the first time in 8 years. In an age where this all kind of just feels so transitory, guys are in and out. Iowa State's bringing back pretty much every relevant player from a team that was really good, coming off of a really good season, Jeff. And look, they deserve their spot. They're in a super competitive league, and that's how you end up being picked third. But it feels like the ceiling is the title for this Iowa State team. What's not to like about the Cyclones?
No, I think again, you love him because what TJ's built there quickly, and he's done it. He fits there, right? He didn't fit at UNLV, and he fits at Iowa State, and they don't have crazy NIL, and guys go there. It's almost like similar in a way to what Kelvin built at Houston, right? Like guys don't question it. They go in, they play hard, they accept their roles, they defend. They fight you, and like Lipsy didn't look like a guy. I mean, remember a couple of years ago when Tyrese Hunter leaves, everybody's like, oh man, they're dead. They're dead. Like they have no chance if they can't keep a kid like Hunter. And Lipsy emerges and he's a better overall player. Again, and Keyshawn Gilbert comes from UNLV and gives him that score, and Milan can really shoot it, although he didn't shoot it great last year, but I expect him to shoot it better this year. They lose their bigs. Right? They have three bigs that none of which you were like blown away by, but collectively they were pretty good. And I think they got more talented with the three bigs they added this year. And I think Joshua Jefferson is the guy. He's the X factor for this team because he gives them something they didn't have coming off the injury from St. Mary's, been well coached, different athletically than some of those bigs they had last year, different skill wise, probably as a scorer. So I just, man, like, again, I don't know if they win the league. I think you could see a scenario, guys, where, okay, Kansas wins the league, Houston wins the league tournament, and Iowa State goes the furthest in the NCAA tournament, or mix them all up, all three of them. And that's the beauty of this league. Like, it's really hard to figure out. You know what could determine it is honest, and I know there's a cop out, but like
Schedule
injuries, health and
and
injuries.
schedule and schedule.
Schedule with the regular season, no doubt, no doubt. Yep.
What do you just mean in terms of it's not enough of a challenge? I mean,
No, unbalanced,
Unbalanced. Yeah.
unbalanced.
got it, got it. To you talked a little bit about Iowa State. That I think the one thing that you do have to love about them is the identity, right? Jeff kind of mentioned it. Like you just kind of know every time you play Iowa State, you're in for that. How powerful is that in college basketball, especially when you have like we talked about guys that are coming back for a second straight year of it?
More than anything, just knowing who you are when you play on a night-to-night basis. Like anytime you play Iowa State, you know one is it's going to be incredibly physical. Their coach looks like he could wrestle in the 165 division if he really needed to cut weight. And then I think Keyshawn Gilbert's like he can have some explosive nights on top of those other guys that are so solid, so reliable. So you have this spurtability factor with Gilbert, and that could put them over the top when they play at Kansas or when they play at Houston or something like that. They're always going to give themselves a chance on a given night. It's just that I think this team has that spurtability factor on top of getting more athletic in the portal. I like what Goodman said about Jefferson. I saw him play in person. He was just kind of scratching the surface, trying to figure himself out. But as he went, that's how St. Mary's went. And a lot of people are going to point at different bodies on that team, but he's a good athlete. He's even considered a good athlete by Big 12 standards, and that's saying that's a pretty big jump, in my opinion, from WCC to there. But we'll see how it goes. The spurtability thing is you have a bunch of constants, and then you have Keyshawn Gilbert that could get 25. That's kind of what puts them over the edge to me. I have them as a second weekend team. I don't think they're a Final Four team, but I do think they're very, very good, and they're very, very difficult to play against.